Battle VIP Pass is one of the most powerful cards in the standard format and maybe ever, and it is played in the majority of the current top decks. At this year's World Championship, all of the players that made top 8 played 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass. That's a total of 32 copies of the card. This has never happened before and will likely never happen again. You actually have to look all the way to 11th place at the World Championship to see a deck that did not play 4 Battle VIP Pass, and that deck still ran 3 copies. The 12th place deck, Lugia Archeops, is the highest placing deck that did not run any copies of the card. Of the top 16 decks, only this Lugia deck did not run any VIP Pass, meaning 15 out of 16 of the top decks played 5 VIP Pass, most of them playing 4 copies. Of the top 32 decks, 26 decks played VIP Pass, and of the top 64 decks, 48 played VIP Pass. You get the point. Whenever a card is as powerful as Battle VIP Pass, players will have strong opinions on it. Some powerful cards in the past have been loved. Cards like Pidgeot from Fire Red Leaf Green, Claydol from Great Encounters, and Quick Ball are all considered extremely powerful cards that are ubiquitous in their respective formats, and they were, for the most part, well received by the community. If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 10% off on your aluminum accessories at TC Evolutions. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyperbeam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local C27 en el Centro Comercial Otay. But there are some powerful cards that are not as well loved. Cards like Shamaniacs from Roaring Skies, Hypnotoxic Laser, and Battle Compressor had the player base much more divided in their times. Speaking of Battle Compressor, it might be the best comparison to Battle VIP Pass. Check out my short video on Battle Compressor to see why. So, what makes Battle VIP Pass one of the most hated cards in the history of the Pokemon trading card game? Let's take a step back first and take a look at the card itself. You can use this card only during your first turn. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Let's start with the first sentence. You can use this card only during your first turn. Whenever a card can only be used on a specific turn of the game, there is an inherent risk in playing that card in your deck. It is what players often call situational. Most cards in the Pokemon trading card game can be played at any point during the game, but there have often been powerful cards or effects that are limited to certain situations. All the Ultra Beast related cards like Beast Ring or Buzzwole Sledgehammer explored this idea with prize cards, and we have also seen attacks like Cheerful Charge from Mizui and Voltorb that can only be used on your first turn when you go second. If you do not get the value from these cards at the exact right time, they are all but useless. So, Battle VIP Pass is a situational card, but the fact that it is the first turn is a big deal. For something like Buzzwole, you have some time to find the Buzzwole and make sure that you are ready to use it when your opponent has 4 prizes. However, with VIP Pass, you either find it on your first turn or you don't. With 4 copies, you see it naturally in your opening hand about 40% of games. If you don't, those cards are dead weight in your deck for the rest of the game. Especially if you are the player going first, you do not have many ways to help you find VIP Pass. This makes the card extra rewarding when you do find it and extra punishing when you don't. We have seen players build their decks with this in mind. Gardevoir decks, along with other decks in the past such as Vikavolt, used Mew to help dig for VIP Pass. The Lost Zone decks use Comfey Slayer Selecting to see a couple extra cards. Mew VMAX has Gensec V's extra drawing. Cards like Forest Seal Stone and Chromatic can be used to directly search the card as well. Many decks use Radiant Greninja to draw a few extra cards, and these are ways to find VIP even if you're going first. If you're going second, you can play a supporter, so cards like Colruyt's Experiment, Professor's Research, Iono, and Irida are all helpful to finding at least one on the first turn. Now, why are players going through all this trouble just to increase their odds of finding a Battle VIP Pass on the first turn? Is it really that good? The second part of the card reads, search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Certainly, getting 2 basic Pokemon immediately from the deck is a powerful effect, but we have a lot of ways to get basic Pokemon from the deck that are not restricted to the first turn of the game. Nest Ball is exactly half a Battle VIP Pass and can be used on any turn. Cards like Level Ball and Fog Crystal find basic Pokemon, though they are restricted to certain conditions. And then we have Ultra Ball that can find any Pokemon we want, including any basic, though we do have to discard 2 other cards in our hand. In the last format, we also had Quick Ball, which similarly grabbed any basic Pokemon from the deck at any point in the game for the cost of 1 discard. And yet, VIP Pass was played just as much then as it is today. So what's the deal? Is 2 Pokemon really that much better than 1, while losing the flexibility of being able to play the card at any point? The answer undoubtedly has to be yes, considering the results of the World Championships. If you have enjoyed the video so far and found the information useful, please consider becoming a Tablemon channel member through the join button down below. For as low as $1.99 a month, you can help support the creation of these videos. In the current standard format, games typically do not last many turns. If there are 2 VEX decks pitted against each other, games are usually over within 4 turns. 1 turn for each deck to set up, and then each deck will attempt to take 3 2-price KOs and win on their 4th turn. Decks with single price attackers can extend the game another turn or 2, but not by much. This means that every turn is extremely important. If a game lasted 10 or more turns, each turn's value would be diminished. But in a 4-turn game, doing something powerful every turn is very important. Getting 2 basic Pokemon from your deck for the cost of 1 card sets you up very well to play the rest of the game. If your Pokemon will evolve, they will have the opportunity to do so on the following turn. If you do not find them on your first turn, you are going to be an extra turn behind your opponent in this way. Additionally, many decks in the game want to go wide with their board. This means they want 3, 4, or even 5 benched Pokemon immediately. Gardevoir wants a full board of Ralts along with Radiant Greninja and Manaphy, or Mew depending on the matchup. Mew wants 3 Genesect, 2 Mews, and either a 3rd Mew or a Meloetta. Lost Zone decks want multiple Comfey, Radiant Greninja, and their attackers. If one player has established this white board and the other has not, the game can snowball really quickly in one player's favor. Battle VIP Pass enables this white board. And speaking of snowballing, there's another layer to this. If you were able to find 1 or even 2 VIP Pass on the first turn, now they are no longer in your deck. This means you have 2 less dead cards as the game progresses. Further, your deck is thinned by 2 or more basic Pokemon, so you have higher odds of finding the other cards you do need. Evolutions, energy, etc. So not only do you get the effect of setting up your board, but you make your deck better for the rest of the game. And you don't need to waste your other resources on finding the basics. If one player plays VIP on their first turn and the other doesn't, these effects compound and often lead to one player running away with the game. I have seen many concealed cards into 2 Battle VIP Pass at some point during the mid-game because the player was unable to play them on their first turn. Yet another aspect to Battle VIP's warp of the metagame is how the best decks tend to mitigate the downside of the card, as it is a dead card after the first turn. Lost Zone decks can simply Lost Zone it via Flower Selecting or Colress. Gardevoir DX can use Refinement to discard it, and Mew decks can Ultra Ball or Chromatic it away. Decks outside of these 3 archetypes find it more difficult to play Battle VIP Pass because they don't have a great way to deal with the drawback. The newest deck out of Obsidian Flames, Charizard EX, does tend to play 4 Battle VIP Pass, but the difference of not having a great way to get rid of them after the first turn is noticeable from my testing. Overall, Battle VIP Pass is frustrating because it speeds up the game to a level where you feel pressure to play it in your deck. If you don't, and your opponent does and hits it, you are going to be behind, no doubt about it. This leads to many feel bad moments. Luckily, Battle VIP Pass will be leaving in our next rotation. With it gone, I am hopeful the game will slow down and allow for more turns in a game. More turns almost always leads to a better playing experience. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment if you enjoyed the video or if you think there's something I overlooked. What do you think of Battle VIP Pass? Until next time!